Welcome back to our current events panel, where we're joined by Peter Stock and Mike Patton as we unpack a plethora of issues. Now we're going to shift gears and discuss what seems to be a perennial issue in this country, Canada Post and their strikes. So it looks like we're on strike now. Things are happening. Whatever patchwork was put into place in December to stave off even more of a strike at Christmas time, we are now in the midst of it. Mike, why don't you start us off on this one? What's going on with Canada Post?
Well, there was a bit of a strike at Christmas time. That was quickly solved by the
Well,
federal
I don't
government.
think I would hold on. I don't think it was a bit of a strike. That was like what, 3.5 weeks right before Christmas. I was really annoyed.
Well, the problem there wasn't just the strike; it was the whole. None of the issues have been solved, and so even though the strike itself was resolved after a few weeks, people have been very reluctant to put packages in the mail because they never know when there's going to be another strike. We were very close to another strike this week. The union stepped back and said no overtime, but it's chaos in an organization that is on the verge of bankruptcy.
Well, and that's a very good point, because if Canada Post were, revenue neutral, even not losing probably 500 to 700 million dollars a year, then perhaps the public would be more inclined to say, yeah, give them the raise or give them what they need, the union workers. But they're losing a lot of money. um, Peter, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, again, we seem to, I understand they just kind of punted the football down the field in December, and that's why we're in the situation we're in now. But where is the public trust on the reliability of our national mail service?
Yeah, I think the union's done a lot to shatter that trust. I mean, they timed their strike obviously to interfere with the busiest and for many people the perhaps the only important season of the year for sending things, their Christmas cards, because quite frankly, as I think most of us discovered, the strike didn't interfere with our lives in any other ways. If you had bills, they came through email or other methods, and you paid them online, and so folks were they might have been a little inconvenienced, but this wasn't the end of the world. If we look back in history, there was a day when Canada Post was an essential service, and there was a reason for there to be this monopoly on mail. But I think those days are long gone at this point.
So, Peter, then do you think we will see competitors spring up? Or is the lack of mail usage, or the fact that we've kind of moved on as a society, is this just really a remnant organization? Like there's no future for snail mail.
Yeah, I do think Canada Post is an anachronism at this point in our history, and we see Amazon drivers who can bring stuff to our door. We can get ad mail delivered by local kids, and uh, the fact of the matter is, Canada Post is not up to the task anymore. It can't do it efficiently from an economic standpoint. As you mentioned, it's a huge money loser, and it's time for the government to step back and say, look, private services could do this better, courier services could do this better. Let's let the free market decide, and if people want to send a letter, they can pay whatever it costs to send it.
And maybe that's where we're headed, Mike. Apart from probably official government notices like your tax statements or your remittance bill, things like that, which probably could be sent via courier. I mean, we get our passports through courier. Any number of companies can do that. Uh, what else really is Canada Post's core business? I heard ad mail delivery is a big chunk of it, and parcel mail, but there's so many competitors in the parcel mail field. I don't even think, that's really their bread and butter.
Well, that's it. Ad mail, certainly, because when was the last time you received a letter from somebody? It's letter mail is really declining. The irony is package delivery has never been in more demand. If Canada Post could actually be efficient, and this is an example, a perfect example why crown corporations and government work is never efficient. Package mail, which is incredibly profitable, is at new heights. And the problem is people are just not using Canada Post for that service.
Right. I'm one of those relics who still uses a stamp and go find the collector stamps or the most interesting stamp at Canada Post and put them on letters. I do actually get, not a lot, but with my children, we do send out a lot of letter mail because we enjoy it. I like receiving letters. Am I willing to foot the huge tax bill that who knows how much I pay individually for Canada Post? No, I'm not. I'm a reasonable woman. But I think Canadians still do have a sympathy for letter mail. We only have 10 seconds left. Peter, like maybe they just reduce it to twice a week or something.
Yeah, there's certainly some efficiencies that could be built into the system that way. But at the end of the day, the volumes are just so low
I
for
know.
that, first class mail, as they call it, that I don't think there's an economic case for it anymore. That disappeared some years ago, I believe.
Okay, we'll be right back.